magic happen every time you go. Make the magic happen. Make the magic happen.
Heyo, it's the Orioles Spastics, the one and only Orioles baseball / Arrested Development fan podcast. I'm your host today, Dean Eastlake. I'm joined, as always, by Chris Knightsey.
Hello, this is Chris Knightsey, Orioles Spastics podcast, one and only. Hope everybody is continuing to have a good day, doing good.
And I'm also joined by Charlie Hoppus.
Hey guys, ready for another big episode.
We're going to get into it. We'd just like to take another moment to thank Jeff Waters for our theme song. You can follow him at Jeff Waters Music on Twitter.
Thanks, Jeff.
I actually just saw Jeff, and Chris, he said something really interesting. You guys went to a baseball game without me, and
Yes.
Yep.
Jeff took my ticket. And he said that he had a great time with Dean, and that, it was his first time meeting you. And he said that you were saying that you were moving to New York. And when he asked, "Oh, New York City," your response was, "There's other places in New York other than New York City." Is there beef between you and Jeff Waters?
Well, I wouldn't say there's beef because I literally just started following him on Twitter 2 seconds ago. So I think we've cleared that beef up.
Beef resolved?
But,
Was there beef?
there's a little bit of tension there between us for a while until just now when I relieved all that tension with following him on Twitter.
You just you clear the beef.
One
through Twitter.
click. One
Wow.
click. Yeah, one click is all it took.
No
So
more
we're on good terms now.
beef. Okay.
Man, see that? Orioles Spastics bringing friendships together.
Yeah, keeping it real.
Well, before we really start going here, I have bones to pick really with each of you. I'd like to do a little revisit on some past statements that you all have made or things that we've brought up in the past. So the first one being the Jim Palmer. It was basically the founding member of the Orioles Spastics podcast. It's really why we started this in the first place, just to get the word out there about the Jim Palmer, and we haven't really heard much more about it. Chris, have you heard a final recipe? Have you had any feedback? Have you been
So I
drinking
got
this?
an update. I have yet to drink a gin Palmer. One of these days I'll drink one. I don't own any gin right now, but I think eventually I'll buy some if I ever remember, and I'll make myself a gin Palmer.
Guys,
So,
I had one.
Yeah.
What?
I had one.
How was it? Explain.
It was good. It was
Yes.
really good.
Yes.
Surprisingly good.
I was ready for. I'm not a huge gin fan, but I like it okay. Chris, I think you've done it.
I did it. Yes.
My God.
Does this mean we can open a bar? We can take over turds and just serve gin Palmers.
Your
Well,
boy Will.
I'll call over.
Well, he can be my
I'll call
bartender.
over. I'll call over the manager right now and see what he can do for us.
So I also wanted to ask you, Charlie, I think 2 episodes ago or so when you came on late and basically destroyed the whole podcast, you came in with kind of a great line and you made the statement that there's so much foul ground in Oakland. And it was profound at the time, but then I thought about it and I didn't really know what that meant. Is there any basis on that statement?
Well, I've been reflecting on that also since you started asking me that question like a few seconds ago. And basically, I was talking about the fact that you could put in another 2 or 3 infields in the foul territory in the ballpark. But I've been to Oakland, and there is plenty of foul ground.
They do not lack foul territory.
They have much foul territory.
Very
It's not
foul.
like our fair.
It's a foul place, one would say.
That's what I thought you were getting at. I thought there was a lot there, but I was mistaken.
Didn't capitalize.
No.
Sorry about that, everyone. All right. Another interesting thing that we saw, who brought this up? I think it was Charlie that brought this up, but on Sports Nation right now, they're going through the best MLB uniforms, and the Orioles started out as a very low seed and have somehow found their way into the Final Four.
Yeah, currently up 57-43 on the Yankees right now.
Let's go.
So, doing well.
We were a
Keep it up.
13 seed out of all the American League teams.
Yeah,
so
I couldn't
basically we were
understand
the
that.
third to last team.
All because of the white white panel on the hat.
Yeah,
Apparently,
the quote on that. So they give a little
we were
blurb.
below the
Whoever does this,
Rays.
let's see. I don't know who writes these little blurbs, but next to the Orioles they say, "Always like the orange and black scheme, but the white paneled cap is a bad, bad look from the '70s." And I can't believe it. I think it's the slickest thing. I've had my eye out on a white paneled hat for a while now. I'm cheap,
Yeah,
so I won't
the
really
funny
shell out for
thing.
one. But
Well, the Blue Jays did the same thing this year, and they're at 7. No comment about their white panel hat.
hmm.
Is
I feel
that's
like some-
more? Is it more of a alternate hat for them though?
I don't know. I like it though. I like the Blue Jays new uniforms.
Oh, I like them too. They got knocked out in the first round. For some reason, I don't know. I think it's a beautiful, beautiful outfit. I think actually the best uniform we have is the orange jersey,
Oh, is it the Friday night?
Oh,
the
it's so
Friday night home
what's
jersey.
Friday night or Saturday night? We always disagree about this, Chris, and
Maybe
you're
no.
always right.
Friday night is black. I think Saturday is.
There you go.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
yeah.
And they've got the white panel hats with the orange jerseys. It is nice. It's really, really fresh.
So good.
Yeah, they just need
Uh,
those orange pants to tie it all together.
Yeah, so go on and vote. We posted a link on our Twitter. So go on and support the birds. Support the orange and black.
Vote orange.
The poll closes at 9 a.m. on Friday morning. So, Dean, as long as you can get this out tonight, meaning Thursday, our fans will be able to listen to it overnight and vote by 9 a.m. on Friday.
Perfect.
I will see what I can do. Speaking of orange, orange being a color of Arrested Development also. Oh, how about that? Great parallel there. We have been recapping our favorite moments of Arrested Development's, counting down the days to the big release of season 4. We are, 10 days away? A mere 10 days.
Oh, getting chills.
It's so exciting. On my background desktop at work, I just have it scrolling through the different posters that have been put out for the new season, just getting me absolutely pumped. So let's go ahead and revisit all of season 2. So this week we'll do all of season 2. Next week we'll do all of season 3. And then by the time the next podcast comes out, it'll be the new episode. So Chris, season 2 favorite moment.
Season 2 favorite moment. I'll say season 2, episode 10, Ready, Aim, Marry Me was my favorite. I think that's one of the best episodes overall. It was just full, like the whole entire episode was just, laughable stuff. I wanted to say my favorite one was Tobias, with the whole dry run, but someone beat me to that. Instead, the spa scene, basically the whole entire spa scene with Buster and Job running around in fatigues looking for Lucille too, because they both have a thing for her. And then finally finding her and pissing her off enough to where she actually does not want to, or she actually does want to take over the Bluth Company. That was my favorite moment.
Solid.
As a rock.
Well, I think that we all had down the dry run at various points.
Yep.
So I won't take that either. I'll say that from that, I think it's that same episode, or it's shortly thereafter, where Job buys the Sword of Destiny.
Yeah, I think that's
I
episode
especially
15.
like, huh?
I think it's 15. I just see it on my Netflix right now.
A little bit after. So they all blend together into one joyous, awesome Bluthness.
That's true.
Probably just when Job confronts Michael while he's on his
the Segway.
on his Segway with the Sword of Destiny, and he swings it around and accidentally cuts himself. I especially like Michael saying, "Oh, you really picked up steam there, but it's still a no." And I also like Michael's line about Job says, "I was looking for you, Michael," and Michael says, "It looks like you were looking for dragons in the future." Something about that whole interaction is just the best. What do you like, Dean?
Mine is pretty early on in season 2. I think it's the second episode in season 2, the one where they build a house. And this quote, it just kind of it like defines Arrested Development. It's just like this subtle little 2 lines just hidden in, and you could easily just be watching and glaze over it. But so Job wants to buy this boat, and he wants to name it the C word, like going forward, but with the C word. And finally, they rock, paper, scissors, shoot for it. Lucille walks in, and Michael says, "Stop, Mom, I'm in the middle of something." And he looks at Job, and he says, "Job, get rid of the C word." And Lucille says, "I'll leave when I'm good and ready." It's just like, it's so good. It's just like so subtle. And it kind of is Lucille, but
I don't know that I've
Favorite.
ever seen or like recognized that before.
No, I
Oh,
saw it a
it's-
couple days ago when I was watching, and it was hilarious because I think Dean mentioned it earlier in one of the other times, and I remember seeing it.
It's so good. All right, so really, we haven't really gotten to much of. So let's get into kind of some buzz around.
Wait. I got a bone to pick with both of you really quick.
Uh-oh.
I understand that neither of
You
you.
have about 3 minutes to pick this bone.
I understand that both of you are going to be unable to watch the new season when it comes out, the day it comes out.
Yeah.
Now, I was
Has
given
an hour
I
been
was
defined?
given high hell for missing an Orioles game, which I might add there's 162 of those.
The first game of the
They-
season that we would be able to watch.
They happen all the time. Here's something that doesn't happen all the time: an
Would you say
Arrested
those-
Development season premiering all at once.
Are those Orioles games on demand? Could
Okay, so
you
tell
say
so
on
let's
demand?
so let's hear.
Can you watch them all in one
are the
sitting?
Great reasons. What are the great reasons that you guys have for missing this monumental moment in our nation's history?
Yeah. So my reason is Dana and I have a wedding to go to that Saturday
Magnificent.
down in Maryland. So we're going to be coming back up, visiting some friends on the way back up. Unfortunately, won't be able to watch it until Monday or Tuesday. So yeah, that's my reason, quote unquote.
That's an awful
Mine?
reason.
Mine's a potential miss. Is there an hour that has been defined? Like when is it coming out?
I don't know.
12:01 Sunday, or is it
Actually, that I don't know.
midday Sunday?
Hold on, they just sent me an email. I'll look this up while you're explaining your.
Well, I have a large house project planned for Memorial Day weekend, which
Put some solar
I do
panels.
hope it is not. I have the solar up and going already, digging in the dirt, doing some stuff like that. But I mean, I should be. I mean, I can watch it maybe at some point on Sunday, but going to like a marathon watching, some of these viewing parties is going to be difficult because I don't know I'm going to be finished up, and I don't know when people are going to start watching it, and I don't know when they're released.
Yeah.
These details, we don't know. We need to know these things.
I did see an awesome picture that I don't know if it was Will Arnett or Jason Bateman posted, but it was both of them taking a selfie of each other in front of a bunch of fans. I guess in New York City, I guess they're doing like the Goodwill tour kind of thing, and I guess all the fans in the background kind of photo bombed them all at the same time. It's pretty good. Okay, also, I saw that Arrested Development hit Netflix on Sunday, May 26th at 12:01 a.m.
Oh, man.
All right.
That is sick. So listen, I think that we should do this. So Chris might not be able to take part.
I might be able to watch some of it.
So-
Maybe when I get back from the wedding around that time, I'll be able to start watching.
I think that what we should do is we should have a emergency Arrested Development only podcast that Sunday night.
I'm on board.
Yeah, you can replace me with someone else too.
We have some candidates.
Yeah, there are many fans.
And we can get some of your thoughts in our regularly scheduled podcast. But I think this calls for an emergency Arrested Development only podcast.
I'm down.
All right.
I'm down. All
I'm
right.
probably not, but maybe. All right, moving on, right? Because that
Moving
was,
on board.
was that 3 minutes?
Yeah, well, we're on to the next thing anyway. Let's get into some Orioles buzz.
I'll start my own business. How hard can it be? Bzzz. Bzzz. We'll see who brings in more honey.
All right.
So number one on the list here, Manny Machado is leading the AL in WAR.
Yeah, with his combination of awesome offensive output lately, and then obviously his great defense throughout the whole season, he is now, according to ESPN's WAR calculations, he's leading the American League. On Baseball Reference, I think he's in third place behind Clay Buchholz and what's his face, Seattle pitcher, that guy.
Joe Saunders.
Yeah. Yes. Felix.
Oh,
Yeah.
dang.
So he's in third behind, but obviously, as far as offensive players go, he's up there. He's actually top of the AL for both of those. So yeah, he's really coming along. Superstar in the making, or currently.
All right. So also happenings in the past week. Shen left the game with an oblique strain. They thought maybe it was a cramp. Now it seems a little bit more serious. He's off to the DL. Who is replacing him? We're dropping starters, it seems. Who's replacing Shen?
Well, first off, I think the person who is initially replacing him is somebody that's probably the best name in Major League Baseball, Jair Jurgens.
J.J. Jurgens.
That's so many
many-
great J's in a
So many
row.
J's and R's.
Yeah, he's supposed to be
Pitching.
pitching
Throwing
on
base.
Saturday,
That's
and
the word.
he's supposed to be pitching on Saturday. I think that he is a candidate to be sort of our Nate McLouth of this year, even though he's a pitcher. So I mean, I don't know.
The
There's
Braves
potential
tie in
for that.
there.
Yeah. And then the other thing is I've read a couple reports now that the Orioles are looking for a front of the line starter through trade, whether that's Cliff Lee or David Price or someone along those lines. Now, that doesn't seem very realistic to me because I've also heard that they're not willing to give up Dylan Bundy or
Godsman.
right. So I don't know how they're going to get a deal like that done. I don't think they can. But even our very skeptical and hidden behind the scenes GM that Dan Duquette is, he's come out and said that he's looking for better pitching via trade. It's the most forthright he's ever been ever. So we should be seeing some new faces in Baltimore in the coming months for sure.
All right, and along with that, Miguel Gonzalez. When is he slated to be back? Do we know?
I think he's supposed to be back next Tuesday. I think that's the first time, other than Jurgens pitching on Saturday, I think that's the first time they'll need another starter. Apparently he's throwing on Friday, tomorrow, either a simulated game, or maybe like in Bowie or something. Whoever's
I
at
think
home.
it might be an actual game.
So yeah, he should be back on Tuesday. I guess his blister is getting better. He was, I guess he was throwing long toss without any kind of bandage on. So that's encouraging.
That kind of leads us to we've had kind of this fifth man in the rotation. Arrieta dropped out basically right away. So I want to get your guys' opinion on who you think the best starter fill-in has been thus far this season. So there's been a handful of guys, like 4 or 5 guys that have been in that position. So I don't know who we have. We have Stinson, we have Johnson, Garcia, Britton. What do we say on Stinson versus Johnson? Who did better there?
Well, Stinson only gave up 4 earned runs. Johnson, I guess, he gave up 6. Obviously, Johnson, I believe, and most people would probably agree that he's the better pitcher overall. It was also his first start since, I guess, last year, since he's been hurt. So
he had like 2 crappy rehab starts, and then he went right to the majors.
Yeah, I guess he just wasn't really ready.
Yeah.
But because of a need for something, they had to bring him up. But yeah, 4 walks and 6 earned runs and 4 innings pitched for Johnson does not spell a successful start.
Yeah, I like Steve Johnson a lot. He's actually one of my favorite Orioles. I really just like him a lot. I love the fact that he's related to Dave Johnson. He's Dave Johnson's son from the '89 Why Not team, which is just awesome. And it's great that he had a great year last year, or a solid year last year, or a competent year last year. I don't know that he's a major league pitcher, or at least one that we want in our starting rotation.
Right. I think he's
Yeah, he doesn't have a whole lot of talent, and if anything, when you don't have that much talent and that much movement on your pitches, which he doesn't, throwing strikes is almost worse than just walking people, and obviously walking people is not great either. I'm hoping that both with him and Gonzo, that they sort of got by on smoke and mirrors last year, sort of carries through. I'm hoping that, I don't know what the time, maybe Chris knows, when the timetable for, how do you say his first name even, Toshido Wada?
Tsuyoshi.
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 Tsuyoshi?
Tsuyoshi Wada, yeah.
When is he coming back? Because, I know he's old.
Today he actually had
you heard it here first.
He actually had his first rehab start today. I guess it was it with Bowie or Norfolk? He didn't do so well. I think he went 4 innings pitched. First 3 he was all right, and then he gave up like 2 home runs in the 4th. Apparently he was a little off. He's one that's interesting because his stats in Japan were actually better than Chen's, which Chen's were obviously pretty damn good, and he did well this year and last year. But Wada's a little bit older. I don't think he throws as hard as Chen. He throws like low or like mid to upper 80s instead of Chen, who's in like the low 90s. I guess probably a couple starts and we'll possibly see him.
We're pretty much just leaving Stinson out of it, which is fair. I guess Johnson versus Garcia.
I got nothing on Garcia.
Garcia
I wish Zach Britton would turn it around, because Zach Britton actually has that talent. Or Jake Arrieta.
Arrieta, yeah.
I wish that Britton or Arrieta would turn it around, because both of them have just oodles of talent. And when either of them look good, they look great. And it's just Arrieta at this point, I kind of feel like he's a little bit of a head case. Damn it.
Oodles of talent. Yeah. No,
Eagles.
Freddie Garcia, who, teased us with his first start of like almost 7 innings pitched without a hit, has kind of, I wouldn't say regressed to the mean, but, he's shown us that he is not the Freddie Garcia of old. He is old Freddie Garcia. So I guess his last 2 starts, actually, he's gone like 9 2/3 with 8 earned runs given up. So 2 starts, only 9 innings pitched, and 8 earned runs do not help out the team very much. No,
not good. We need more pitching. We need more pitching. Hopefully that's Wada or Arrieta or Britton
or Jair Jurgens
or Jair Jurgens.
Okay, enough of the starter pitching talk. We wanted to get a little bit into the minor leagues, and as much as I would like to talk about the Hobgoblin, we just don't got time. So let's move on to my favorite, your favorite, the solid as a rock performance of the week.
Hey! Solid as a rock!
So we're going to highlight one pitcher and one hitter from the past week. Charlie, do you have a solid as a rock pitcher for me this week?
I do. I wanted to give it to either Tommy, Big Game Hunter, because Tommy's my boy, and
he's everyone's boy.
He's our boy, and even more than Tommy's our boy, Darren O'Day is our idol.
He's our boy toy.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Darren O'Day. Darren, just come on the show, Mr. O'Day, please.
We gotta tweet at him more often.
We got.
I think maybe eventually we'll get him.
Tweet at ya. Everyone, all of our listeners, please tweet at Darren O'Day to try to get him on the show. Just tell him how much we care. But I think that the solid as Iraq performance definitely goes to Chris Tillman for he had 1 start, but he was very good in that start. I felt like he had more command than he has all season, except for throughout the entire start he had command more than he has all season. Usually he starts out really poorly and puts it together, or vice versa. This time he took it all the way through. 7 innings, 7 strikeouts, 2 walks, 4 hits, and a run on a solo homer. So pretty dang good. And again, he's one of those 3 pitchers that has just tons and tons of talent, and it'd be nice if we had 2 of them working. So Brendan Arrieta put it together.
Yeah.
All right. So what about a hitter, Chris?
Real hard to not go Manny Machado here, but we did him last week, I think. So actually, J.J. Hardy has really turned it on, especially in the month of May. I think April, he was below 600 OPS.
Yeah.
But in the month of May, in 13 games, he's like at 834. His OPS is 834. He's had 4 home runs. He's actually only struck out 2 times in 13 games.
Really?
2 times. Yeah, he's only walked 1 time, but he's only struck out 2 times. He's got an 11-game hitting streak going on. And it should be noted that the first 2 games of May actually went 0 for 8. So that really cuts into that 834 OPS. But yeah, he's been on fire lately. He's really starting to carry the offense a little bit.
So there you have it. Chris Tillman and J.J. Hardy.
Hey! Solid as a rock!
Thanks for your effort, guys. All right, on the flip side of that, we'll have a new little segment here that it could become your favorite. It'll be probably your favorite because of the intro, but also your least favorite because of the content. But we have the solid as a rock, but we also have the forget me now performance of the week.
I've made a huge mistake. I know the feeling. I had you. I'm your father, Steve Holt. I can't hide from it anymore. I won't forget this, Dad. I will. I will.
So, forget me now, pitcher of the week.
Oh, take this and let me again.
You got first, Chris.
It was tough going between Freddie Garcia and Jason Hamill, but since, Jason Hamill is supposed to be the rock of the starting rotation, He gets the Forget Me Now Performance of the Week, unfortunately, for his start against Minnesota. Right, Minnesota?
Minnesota.
He went 4 innings,
Scottish and bars.
gave up 6 runs, so that was not good. Didn't get deep into the game at all. Usually, he at least, if he's had a bad game, he at least gets pretty deep into it to at least save the bullpen, but he didn't do that either. He is my Forget Me Now Performance of the Week.
I have the hitters, and that's always an easy job because there's always at least one Oriole that's just like completely in the toilet. We've got a lot of really, really streaky hitters. JJ, obviously really streaky, and Wieters, and Steve Pearce. Is he streaky or is he bad? Well, it doesn't matter. The person who's the Forget Me Now Player of the Week this week is Nate McLouth. Last 7 games, 24 at bats, 3 hits. Not great. Not great.
Not good.
No.
He's gone from like the highest on base percentage in the American League to like not even close.
No.
Yeah, he was like mid 400s for a while.
He's I mean this is what we get with a lot of our players, and this is why we're able to go 7-4 on a really tough road trip, and why then we get swept by the Padres at home pretty quickly. If we get a couple of these guys slumping at once, it's really hard to score. McLouth is a catalyst, and so whenever he's slumping in particular, it's like I remember every time that Markakis has a slump, it just feels like the whole offense just shuts down. That's what we're going through with McLouth right now.
Yeah, that Padres series was pretty rough.
Yeah, that Padres series. Luckily, it was only 2 games because I did not want to play them a third time. The Padres, young team, anchored by their veteran Jason Marquez. We went 0-2, and most of that was due to a lack of offense, I would say. First game, we lost 2-3, but we had a blown save by Jim Johnson. Very uncharacteristic. In that second game, we just got out-hit pretty bad. But we also had runners on all the time. I know Charlie was very upset with this. Every time we'd get a runner on, we'd hit into a double play or just do something ridiculous. So we just couldn't score.
Also, we had like a mid 12 o'clock start.
Yeah, the
randomly
start.
I was excited for it, but then I forgot until like the 9th inning. So thanks for those pitch by pitch updates there, Charlie.
It was not what I wanted to be doing, giving you a pitch by pitch update as we were losing 8-3. We've got the Rays up next. They're sort of not exactly hot on our heels, but I feel that they're really dangerous. Right now, they've got their 2 sort of younger, less proven starting pitchers pitching really, really well. And it's very easy for me to believe that Alex Cobb and Matt Moore will continue to pitch well because they're very talented. We think that eventually they're going to pitch well in their careers. It's hard for me to believe that David Price and Jeremy Hellickson continue to pitch this unevenly and this poorly all season. So you'd like them to be buried in the standings a little bit better. Right now they're a game over 500.
Who are we getting pitchup matchup wise? We're at least getting Hellickson, right? I think I know that.
I'm not really sure. I didn't look, but I don't know. Between that and Zobrist, who is, their most important offensive player outside of Longoria, he's just not hitting, and they're still right in the thick of it. It makes me nervous. That, and we get right after that, we get the Yankees, who are ahead of us in the standings. They're 25-15, and they've got 2 third basemen on the DL now, and 2 catchers, and Mr. Mom. And I don't know. It makes me nervous that we're not. I'm glad that the Orioles are playing well. I wish that we were doing better than we are because we should be taking advantage of these teams while they're down.
Agreed. Couldn't agree more. We actually get Hellickson, Hernandez, which is formerly known as Fausto Carmona, and Matt Moore.
Yeah.
So that second game against Hernandez, we should be able to take advantage of that at least. I think we hit Matt Moore pretty decently last time earlier, but he is a damn good pitcher, so you can't expect to do that again.
Zobrist always seems to hit us really well, so hopefully a series against the Orioles doesn't get him going.
Yeah, and I do not think James Loney is going to continue to be such a beast.
Oh, God, no. No, right now...
Since he hasn't shown anything before this.
No. James Loney is a replacement-level first baseman who's, right now a candidate for the All-Star game. That's not going to continue to happen. Or maybe it is, because the Rays use math and black magic to do these sorts of things. Who knows?
And And after the Rays, we have the Yankees and we have Toronto. So we have a lot of AL East games.
Yeah.
We're in tight race right now.
And then the
with-
Arrested Development season comes out.
Oh,
This
man.
is this
And then we
is
have
the
the Nationals.
tough season.
The Curly W's.
The Curly W's.
What are okay?
Curly
so
Dubs.
let's talk about this. What are your guys' thoughts about the Curly W's? So, as a Redskins fan, I absolutely hate Baltimore, the Ravens. I can't stand the Ravens. I think it's because I want so bad not to leave my own allegiance with the Redskins. I have to force myself to hate the other team so that I never join up with them. But I haven't really decided about the Nationals. They're just kind of there.
I'm indifferent to the Nationals. When they first started, I think that 05 season, I followed them a little bit because much like the Orioles, they were doing very well for that first season in 05, the first half at least, but then started to go downhill from there. But I'm indifferent. I don't root for them, but they are an NL team, so I don't feel too bad if I'm following them.
Yeah, I really, for you listeners that don't know, Chris, Dean, and I are all Orioles and Skins fans, which is sort of
And Capitals.
which is sort of rare.
What's a capital? Hokie.
Come on, guys.
Rest in peace. And
At least I can focus on baseball now.
that's good. It's sort of rare, but the reason why that sort of makes sense is because we were growing up at the time when there was no Ravens and there were no Nationals. So it was just the Orioles and the Redskins were the options. A lot of people our age have chosen to sort of latch on one way or the other. Unfortunately, we're such diehards. And I say unfortunately meaningfully. I really don't want to root for the Redskins anymore, but here I am rooting for them anyway. I tried to quit. Do you remember that, Dean? One year I tried to quit.
I do.
I watched all these
I know.
Ravens games. I stopped.
It was a weak moment. It was a couple of weeks.
I couldn't do it. I
know.
I physically could not. I didn't want. I was happy when the Redskins won.
Your sister did. She buddied up with Drew Brees.
Yeah, well, Drew Brees is a handsome man. Point is, I'm fine with the Ravens. I wish them well. I'm glad they won the Super Bowl. The Nationals, I root for them. I growing up with the Washington Post, I mean, the Nationals coming into town was a very, very exciting thing with Levon Hernandez and I don't know, maybe just Levon Hernandez.
Is there a rivalry there? Like when we play them, I want there to be, the
I think last year
Beltway Battle of the Beltways.
Yeah, well, that's fabricated basically. I think last year actually was.
But I want that.
We crushed them last year. We beat them. I think we took each series like 2-1, with both teams doing what they did last year. Both teams making the playoffs. I think this year we might see more of. Obviously, the games will sell out. I think they sold out last year at each stadium, but I think this year they'll continue to sell out. I think this year it might be more a raucous crowd. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited to see this. I have a couple of friends that are Nats fans, so a little healthy trash talking wouldn't be such a bad thing.
Yeah, let's hope that turns into rivalry. I think that will be a bit of fun. So moving on, let's get into some fan mail. We only have a little bit of time here, so we'll just read one here. Another one from Anonymous. We have a lot of secret fans out there, so don't be scared to make yourself known. And remember, if you would like to give us feedback, which we would appreciate, your questions, your comments, your criticisms, email us, orioleSpastics@gmail.com. So, another anonymous emailer writes, "Hey guys, long-time listener, first-time writer. When Job made the yacht disappear, it looked pretty amazing at first, but quickly became terrible when people realized he just sank it. Which Orioles player is the sunken yacht? He's looked great so far, but he'll be exposed before too long, like a girl with low self-esteem."
Well done. Well done, writer.
Yeah, so my choice for that, the sinking yacht, I'm going to make a bold decision out here. It's kind of a win-win for me. I'm going to say Chris Davis. The reason why I say win-win is because if Chris Davis continues to do well and is not exposed, then obviously I continue to win because Chris Davis does well. If he does become exposed and he starts, actually picking up the strikeouts, less walks, then I look like a genius here. So I'll go with Chris Davis.
Nice, bold statement. We'd like... Ugh.
We don't like that because...
We don't.
Ugh.
Back it up, bro.
Because that was yours?
No. Please. My person is Well, so I was gonna say Nate McLouth, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I think this is just what he is. He's just gonna do these sorts of things. He's gonna have months where he's the best, and have months where he's what he is now, which is sort of bad. It's okay. It's fine. He's gonna have 2 years in a row where everyone releases him, and he goes to Orioles AAA, and then he's gonna have a year that he plays really well. I don't know. I hope that we're not sinking on the good ship McLouth, because who we have already in the wings is not good.
Danny Valencia.
Steve Pierce. Nolan
Danny
Reimold.
Valencia.
Nolan Reimold.
Brandon
Dean,
Wood.
what was your over-under on Nolan Reimold? You were really optimistic.
Right.
He was.
I was. I feel
Is that the-
decent right now. I was at 85. You guys were both under 70.
Yeah.
Chris didn't really make. He just agreed with Charlie.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going to happen when it comes to paying up for that one.
we both get the reward and you lose.
That's not fair.
Yep.
All right, well, fine. Finally, we want to wrap up with a new little segment here, which I think is going to be a bunch of fun. We're calling it Banana Grabber Trivia. So I got 10 trivia questions lined up for you guys. Most of them are on, Orioles history. There's a spattering of recent, as in the last year. To determine who gets to go first, I will assign each of you a chicken noise as your buzzer, basically. So I'm going to say, Charlie, you've got the Lucille chicken noise, which is a coodle-doodle-doo, a coodle-doodle-doo.
Okay.
And Chris, you have Lindsay's chicken dance sound, which is cha, chi-cha, chi-cha, chi-cha. I'm gonna give you this question. It's not multiple choice. We'll see how you guys do. So 10 questions, mano y mano. Are you ready?
Getting nervous.
So wait, who's who? Cha 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 and a coodle-doo. All right.
Hey, are there
Number
any-
one.
Okay, never mind.
No, go for it.
Is there a if you buzz in and get it wrong, is there some kind of negative -1 or something?
-1, yeah.
-1. Okay.
Don't go buzzing in and
I
not
win
having
this
an
by
answer.
not buzzing at all.
Whew.
That's true. All right, some of these are tough. Now that I'm seeing that they're not multiple choice, we'll see. All right, so number one. Obviously, the Orioles are not an original expansion team. They came. Who were they first? The Brewers?
The
Browns.
Like that?
The Browns.
Browns. So, in what year did the Baltimore Orioles come into existence? All right, Chris.
1954.
There we go.
Oh!
Winner. Oh, I should have some kind of winner noise.
Yeah.
All right.
Are you about to say
1-0.
winner, chicken dinner?
That makes
That would
sense.
have been smart.
Charlie, did you know that one?
I did know that one, but I thought that the question was who were they originally, so I buzzed in too early, and then I was flustered.
You were. I
Right.
heard you in the background.
So, we'll go on to question number 2. Where did the Baltimore Orioles play their first home games? Sorry. Question is, what is the name of the stadium in which the Baltimore Orioles played their first home games? Charlie.
Is it Memorial Stadium?
It is Memorial Stadium.
I wasn't sure.
I didn't want to
It
risk
felt
it.
too. It felt too easy. It felt too safe.
I was like, oh, it's got to be Memorial Stadium, but I don't want to risk losing a point.
All right, we're tied up. So,
Hold on.
question number 3. When did the Baltimore Orioles make their first World Series appearance? Charlie.
1966 against the Los Angeles Dodgers.
And what was the result?
4-game sweep.
Oh,
All right. So was that where or when?
that was when.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I thought I heard where.
Baltimore and Los Angeles.
Yeah, I didn't know it was Los Angeles, so I wasn't gonna.
Well, now you lost twice. Charlie gets two
Shut up.
points now.
All right.
All right, question number 4. This one should be quick. Which of the following managers has the most wins for the Orioles?
Cha-cha-cha.
Chris.
Earl Weaver.
Earl Weaver. Tied up, 2-2.
I thought you said, for the record, I thought you said, which of the following managers has the most wins, and then you didn't list anybody.
Oh, that's a good point.
I was waiting.
Technicality.
I thought-
Chris points.
I thought that
Moving on.
I was
My
all ready
points.
for you to list like Johnny Oates and
That would have been obvious anyway. So, question
he might have
5.
not been. You might have not listed him.
This happens. Things like this happen. Question number 5. Who was the first player in Baltimore Orioles history to hit 50 home runs in a single season?
Cha-cha-cha.
Chris.
Brady Anderson.
Brady Anderson. That is correct.
Woo!
That was not my guess.
I was.
What would it have been?
Jim Gentile.
Jim Gentile. I won't even pretend.
Gentile or Jew.
Oh, good one. Question number 6. Who was the first Baltimore Oriole to win the AL MVP? Charlie.
It was Frank Robinson, also in 1966.
Ooh.
Oh, you know what? It's not.
I believe that is incorrect. We have a -1. And Chris, would you like a chance at that?
Do I lose a point if I guess?
Yes.
No, I'm not going to guess.
Can I say what it is? Because I actually know who it is.
Yep. Follow up for Charlie.
64, Brooks Robinson.
That is correct. 64.
Uh,
I want to give that to you
what's the
because you
score?
had the year too. Well, now it is 3 Chris, 1 Charlie. Was that
this is
minus
question 7?
Oh, this is question 7.
gotta run the table here.
Chris is like
Doing the math.
Gotta run the table here.
It is doable. Question number 7. Who is the last Oriole with a hitting streak longer than 25 games?
Wow.
All right, so it was,
Hold on.
to give you a year, is in 1998. And the streak got up to 30.
Coolulu.
Charlie.
Was it Eric Davis?
Eric Davis. Eric Davis in 1998.
For some reason, I want to say Robbie Alomar, but was he playing with the Orioles in '98?
No, we'd moved on. We were Delano de Shields.
Okay. Good thing I didn't say that.
Ugh, Delano de Shields.
Question number 8. What pitcher started the most games in 2012?
Wow.
He's the only
Chop,
pitcher
chop,
to start
chop.
more than 20.
I got it.
Chris.
It's Wei Yin Chen.
It is. How crazy is that?
Boom! Did I just seal it?
Chen.
Seal it up.
He's
No, I
Sealed
didn't.
it.
I didn't. Charlie could tie me.
He was the only pitcher to start more than 20.
He pitched 30, right?
Great is that? Yeah, 30, 32, something like that. Hamill was the next. He
Well, yeah, then
pitched
Hamill got
20.
hurt with his knee.
All right, 9 and 10 remaining. Here we go. Question number 9. Who was the 1983 World Series MVP?
Coolulu. Coolulu.
Charlie.
Oh God!
Rick Dempsey.
Damn
Oh,
it!
Dempsey.
no
Rick
one
Dempsey.
wants that
And
question.
he always lets people
Call it.
remember that he was the '83 World
We
Series
shouldn't have
MVP.
forgotten then. Should have been really quick.
What's the
All
score?
right, and let's see. 1, 2,
4-3.
3, 4 for Chris. 1, 2, 3, 3 for Charlie.
Oh God, Charlie!
Oh, wish I had a.
We
I
could go
should
into
have-
overtime on our first banana grabber.
That'd be exciting.
Exciting. Who really wants to grab this banana?
Ooh.
Is it
Oof.
Chris
Ooh.
or Charlie? Number 10. Here we go. Who led the Orioles in home runs in 2012?
Chop, cheat chop, cheat chop.
Chris.
Chris Davis.
Chris Davis is
Oh
correct.
God!
I
Do that or Jones.
33.
was I was hoping you were gonna guess Jones.
I was like,
Jones had like 32.
yeah, he was very. I think he was like 30. Yeah, it was real
I
close.
was trying to do the math in my head. I was gonna say Davis because of that last run towards the end of the season, but I didn't want to guess wrong.
Well, successful banana grabber. Chris, you are the champion. And today you will have the final say of the podcast. So closing or clothing thoughts. Chris Knightsey, you have the floor.
Clothing thoughts for Dean Eastlake and Charlie Hoppus. I'm Chris Knightsey. I hope you guys have a great and wonderful week. We will see you back here at Orioles Spastics next week, sometime to be determined.
To be determined.
TBD.
And remember to drink.
Shut up. Responsibly.
Something magic happens every time you go. Make the magic happen. Make the magic happen.